let's go. No, get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. And as I fix my mic. Fast typing, let's go. 22nd November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, courtroom number 2. I forgot, that was what I was supposed to be doing during my break. Also, Susato is the best. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress in my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant? And a woman, no less.
Look, you let a baby into the courtroom.
The rules state that females are not permitted into the court of law other than to testify.
Again, baby.
Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
Ha! You're too late, little girl. The trial has already been concluded.
No, it's not. Shut up. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency!
I am most grateful. Who exactly are you?
She just introduced herself after the... Okay.
I'm sorry. There's no time. Please, simply accept this for now.
What is it? A report about something? Written in English.
It's Giselle Brett's research.
The Englishwoman's?
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical facility and borrowed this paper.
Oh, yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? It is gender, it is period accurate, unfortunately. Like, DGS in itself is surprisingly progressive because even this wouldn't have been allowed, like, in real life. You wouldn't have seen this, I don't think. So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I mean, it might have something to do with the poison.
I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
Oh, no, of course not. All 3 of the Japanese kids are together, though. Special characteristics of karate and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Karate? What's that? I've never heard that word before.
Time's up! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail. But I've summarized that I could on a note. But I summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover.
Give me 1 second, I'm being pinged and I'm like... Sorry, someone was trying to figure out how to get to me. Anyway, karate confirmed as a proper word now, because I remember seeing that word in the Japanese version and was just very confused because I was like, is it actually a poison or is it just some made-up Japanese word? I wasn't sure. Okay.
But I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover, which I've already read, but it's okay. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eyes over it.
This is wonderful. Thank you. Giselle's report. A report detailing an unknown poison that Miss Brett has been researching during her time at Yuma University.
Goodbye then, and good luck.
Thanks, Susato! Like, seriously, thanks! I needed that help. You have had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Yes, you can! Sit still! I need to check the evidence, okay? Give me a moment. Okay, synopsis. Poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Special characteristics: instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have applications as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of full-body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Ay. Oh wow, okay, it really is a thing. I ask the prosecution and defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but we just got a book. Hold on.
The prosecution had made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Ryanosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. Huh, that look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency.
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid
No, you stay here!
it's not so very long until tea time.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order. Ooh! Judge is like, nope, sit here.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel. What is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? Are we getting the objection theme, like, right now? Soon? Yes! Here? No? Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison.
What?
Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel? A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection! What? What complete and utter nonsense? Karate, you say? I've never even heard of it.
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of karate before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist. Correct. Which means, no matter what test the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What? Rubble, 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 rubble.
Order! 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 Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, karate has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. I love that while Asogi's talking, Naruhodo's busy at work back there.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. It was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with karate suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection! Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery! To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would surely notice.
You should look at the description of what this does. Huh, that's true. What do you say to that, Inspector?
Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the defects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. What a horrible way to go. Oh! I knew about the frog stuff, but yeah, that makes sense that they would use it to coat their arrows.
That's hideous!
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison. That was pretty verbatim of what I read in the Japanese version, so pretty good. Are you suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
Objection!
Yeah, it's really messed up.
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing? What a happy tale for the defense.
If I may.
Oh no. And these facts! You think you're so clever! Shut up!
It is you who must be taught.
Of course! Dear lady!
So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discover them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Ooh. Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it! The idea of some poison that doesn't exist in the great British Empire of Japan is breaking the rules!
I already almost said the Great British Empire by accident. I'm too far ahead. What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me. Your Excellency?
Yes, Miss Brett.
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
May she not? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Don't! She could break it! Oh, this is great. I love this animation, though. Look how smooth it is. Very good. Pouring of poison in HD.
Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys.
Sorry? Listen, Naruhodo, she is about to demonstrate what you should not be doing with evidence.
To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Farcical. Your little police games and these foolish court romantics. It's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers.
Sure, I'll drink my water while she drinks her poison. Wait, what are you doing?
No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair.
Nothing happened.
Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned.
So, no curare. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying?
You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind.
Ugh.
Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
The judge is stunned. Yes, Miss Brett.
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries, you know.
Yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. Oh, I hate it when I don't like it whenever Naruhodo goes into this pose. I never do. It's so sad and I want to hug him. That doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
There has to have been poison in that bottle. Doesn't there? But there can't have been. Because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water. It contains poison. It contains poison. I can prove it. Unless this is not gonna give me that. The culprit did put curare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Objection! Fool, are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw
Miss Brett drinking the water from it? His eyes are still wondering.
That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think.
And I believe that complication can be explained.
how exactly?
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court records somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert his claim... Wait. Then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. Did he just call defense? Or instead of the suspect? Or whatever he's been called? Okay, hold on. Where is it? This one. I think it's this one. Yes! It seems the defense, or should I say, the wretched accused. Okay, he's called him an accused before. Was that the first time he called defense? Is the only real source of complication in this case. I was on track. I guess not. You'll have to think harder than that, defendant. Okay. Maybe not. Sorry, Your Excellency. I'll try to find some better supporting evidence. I'm pretty much on track here. You're making this complication more complicated than it needs to be. Or I'm just one step ahead of you. Alright, I'll do my best to find an answer that fits the facts. Okay, so if it's not that, if the defense, the wretched accused, truly intends to assert this claim. Wow! I messed up once and we're back to being the accused. Then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. Okay, well... Yes! It's not it? The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection! That's not a valid explanation!
No?
After all, we don't speak English! That report is utter
That is the worst excuse, Ouchie!
This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency!
Wasn't English like the most perfect language to you, Ouchie? I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. What page is it on? Page 2. Okay. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety to the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? Special characteristics. We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So if that were the case, why aren't the hunters dead? Because they're eating that food. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please!
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, counsel. No, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When karate enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew karare's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle drinking that water without any danger to yourself.
You meddling little...
The swan!
rapscallion!
Well, Ryunosuke, turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection! All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I failed to see how it possibly... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
What are you trying to say?
Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish? Flaw?
As even your brain has managed to deduce, Kirari is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus.
Oh, succus, okay. Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers?
What are they?
I love you, Naruto.
So if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he?
Oh,
That's right!
good gracious.
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no?
Order! Order in the court! Order! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Gastric suckers! I love it. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes, this karate poison is completely irrelevant to the case on the trial.
So remember when I tried to present the doctor's dental stuff and it didn't work? That's where I wanted to present it here now.
That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that.
I see they haven't quite fixed the issue with her mass. As you can see, it's stretching. Is this it? Naruhodo is about to become a man? What is this? Welling up inside me. It's happening. I never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Objection!
There it is! He said objection! Also prey? I don't think so, Mr. Zelbred.
How dare you use that tone with me?
There's this ejection theme! Oh, it's here! Let's go! Let's go! Baby become big boy! You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. I'm so proud of Naruhodo. Anyone who hates on him, I will come after you. Look, you don't even have to like him or your favorite character, but Naruhodo is so good. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested, why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curare? I got you, man! I got you!
Take that!
As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners.
A fatal difference. Also, if her mask looks odd like that, remember that this game used to be on the 3DS, so they had to do like funky 3D effects because ooh! The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. Look at Ranelsuke, he's taking this by the reins. Asogi's sitting over here like, I'm so proud of him. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Oh! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Huh? Is she laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are also puerile.
What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough.
Oh no, here comes Corvus! Corvus, no! Do not drown me right now! Also, this is why you don't give her the bottle.
You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it.
No.
I mean, it could just slip.
Okay, I'll drink my water here. Look at this bitch.
Oh dear, how careless of me. Tee.
I'm in complete utter shock that I opened my evidence, my court records.
I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed.
No! What is it? What just happened? It's the English woman. She just smashed that bottle in the Supreme Court. What a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible, at once.
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it.
How could you? You won't get away with this.
You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle or not.
You.
And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course, of course! You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady.
That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day, using curare. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime.
What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly! And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really gonna get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke, yes, we've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there's any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. It's okay, Naruhodo. I think we can... It's okay, don't worry about it. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Here, feel, think. Every color. Ah!
Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There's a clue. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile off that English woman's face with some evidence. Let's go, Ryunosuke! Alright, I can't wait. I mean, you're going to jail if you don't! It's been niggling? Okay. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is...
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes. What is it? He's still miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty shocking. As you said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Objection!
Wait a minute! Where are you going with...
Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a splattering of blood. A spattering.
What?
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him.
Ah!
Yes. For blood to have made it into the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Giselle Brett.
I beg your pardon?
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous! Fabricated nonsense! Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Hold it!
Did he just say hold it? Honey, he just said hold it! Oh, Giselle is sweating! Giselle is sweating! Wait, no, that was Hosonaga that said hold it! This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean... Yes, I took the plate in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. Ew, they're gotta be gross now. It's been 3 days. I did it all in the name of justice. Hosonaga! Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now. Inspector, the court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak.
it's pretty rotten at this point. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't!
Quickly, Inspector, the blood man. Show the court.
Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure.
Are you sure you got the right plate?
No blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's
Impossible! Wrong plate! It's the wrong plate!
I know I saw it. I'm sure of it.
I believe in you, Naruhodo. I just think we have the wrong plate.
It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate.
Whoops, stop.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy.
The swan.
You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
Ugh.
Tis. I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire.
I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. Then, this let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over.
Naruhodo, how many times has he been in this position? Like, in this whole case? This is just the first case, guys.
Huh. This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
I would love to examine it, except I don't want to touch the meat. Plate of steak, the meal Miss Brett ordered for lunch. It was removed from the victim's table after the incident. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Huh? Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself. Really? Huh. Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense is not shown to be problematic in any way, hold on. Give me a moment. Ugh. Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. And the hallmark is from the Hoei era, I believe. No, I mean, what is it? I don't mean what is it, I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This is the first time today that there's been talk of a Hoei Koban. No, it hasn't! I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion in bullion. What the, bullion? I see what you get. Okay. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... I'm gonna select this. I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. Kobe steak. And it's from the Hoei era, too. That would make it really quite valuable. And well marinated in the juices as well. Look. What? Are you thinking of eating it? No, but the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's gonna be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. A Koban coin underneath this steak. There's only one logical explanation. Anything else I need to examine? That, I guess? This emblem on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? No, it's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beef steak. It seems a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware. So this is the symbol of La Carnival, is it?
Carnival. Anything else? Alright. No, push B. I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. No. I got something. Does the defense have any objection? Yes. That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Objection!
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt have been dispelled. I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. What a good judge. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you're alluding. Where precisely is this plate of beef steak? Where precisely on this plate of beef steak is this new clue to be found? I don't know why I have to go through this again, though. Let me present the coin, please. Thank you.
Got it!
Got it! He had another one for me. Got it! Cute! Good gracious, that's...
Koban?
What on earth? A Hoei Era 1 at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up! What a ridiculous question! How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it.
Objection!
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Who carries around a Koban coin?
Objection!
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen. A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel? A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now. But you're not a lawyer yet, Naruto. You're an English major.
Objection!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway. Shut up!
What is this?
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant.
No, I would not. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the Koban that was found underneath the beefsteak is Mr. Not Higurashi. Wow, I'm about to say Soda Higurashi. Okay, no. The Mr. Kurio Korekuta. Holy, why is this localized name harder for me to say?
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasute, Kurio Korekuta-san.
Kuyuri? Kuriri? Kuriri? As in Mr. Cucumber something?
Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable.
Mr. Cucumber? Ah, yes. I guess Kurei sounds a little bit like the Japanese word for cucumber? He lost a better Dick Cumberbatch. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interests me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hohen Air Koban, my prize coin.
Then this Hoei Koban, do you mean to tell me?
Attention!
No, please, why would Korikuta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Yes!
Yes, it does! Which is why I'm asking to bring Korikuta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Fill this whole witness stand without a moment's delay. This witness stand is about to get really crowded. I can't believe we've come back around to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. No, this is the end. There's no more to be continued. This is literally the end now. What is this? What's this all about? Why I've been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for my little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Extra large witness stand indeed.
Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless wither antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Resute shop owner's existence. Rashute! Excuse me.
Be that as it may, Korikuta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves, have you—
Wah! Oh, yes, that's it! The one! The very one! The very exact one that it is! The resplendent, splendiferous, holy treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day! It can't be!
as I thought.
Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Yep, his foot got stabbed. I didn't realize it until like a couple playthroughs later that his foot got stabbed. I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beef steak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices.
Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my holy treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing?
Mr. Yes, sir, maybe you should, Excuse me. Could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga.
I mentioned this earlier on the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
La Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau.
Wicked crimes indeed.
We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief.
And he's standing right next to you.
So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief that worked in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Korikuta-san's Koban is all too clear.
What? What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter.
Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Korikuta-san's Koban and hid it under the steak? Yes or no, sir?
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Yesanosa!
What? How? How dare you monster!
Monster?
I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of all these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me, it was Ido! Ido is the mastermind behind all this! I don't know about that. I don't know, sir. Wow, he's really blaming the baby, though. I forgot he did that. You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son? An innocent little baby? You know, with Boss Baby and that one baby in, like, Rhea? Maybe I can believe it. It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Ooh. Wah! Oh, this is so good. Ooh! Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant Iesa Nosa, preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. Well, that was a breakdown. His mustache, though. Do any of you know of the extraordinary low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. Well, okay, but you just accused him for a moment. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant. The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time. It sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his Koban. Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. Wow.
A veritable phantom thief you are.
Phantom thief. Where's his calling card? I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Bangu. Okay, coming back to revisiting this case though, can we just admire the fact that Naruhodo didn't solve not just one case, but 2 cases on his first trial? Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I know too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could, on the double. I slipped it under the stake, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later time or date. I'm sure Phoenix Wright is very happy. He must be very proud of his ancestor. What a crowded witness stand.
This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on without this absurd prattling in your own time.
Well, Miss Brett.
Of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency.
No! Indeed. The theft of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
Nonsense, is it? Well, ugh.
And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. No. She stays. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. No, she stays.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone.
No, she's going to run away. Do not.
And good day.
Naruhodo? Ryanosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Sorry? You can think later. Maybe if you don't call out now. Maybe you can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over. Ouchie's still head on the ground. Wait, Miss Brett!
What is it now?
I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago.
What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection!
What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryanosuke?
Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, Counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it?
Take
Take
that!
the steak again. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs!
No, not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett.
Notice what exactly, Counsel?
Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did! She's a refined English gentlewoman herself!
Then take a good look at this steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there.
Ah!
Oh! Oh!
It looks like Miss Brett has realized something.
So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Objection!
Where's the other steak? Bring the other steak!
But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravishly hungry.
Oh, she's sweating again.
Oh, whatever you say, dear lady.
As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer.
Of course! This will be all over in a blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Shut up!
I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacle samurai relic.
Ooh!
Of course, dear lady.
Oof!
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She realized the catastrophic implication those teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryanosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes. Now at last, it all comes together. The mysterious teeth marks in the steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day.
I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? What is your suggestion telling us, or what is that?
Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Shut up!
Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today?
Quite a lot, actually.
You would know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Give us the other steak!
Hasn't been? What?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
This is absurd! The trial has run several hours already!
You know, he's right, it has been running for several hours, actually.
And you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be! I don't believe you have it!
Objection!
I don't, because there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case.
I'm gonna be honest, having gone through this first case a lot already now, I do feel like they added too many extra steps with the steak. Very well, I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about the whole affair? Hosonaga.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga.
What? I have it? You didn't bring out the other steak plate!
Yes. You think I have been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak, and as well as admitting to stealing Korekura-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak. I think Sono Higurashi is a lot easier for me to say than Korekura, apparently. You watch it, cadet. I am a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Attention! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentlelady if she mind me manhandling her meat to hide something in it. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meat.
Objection!
But that makes no sense! That plate was taken from the victim's table!
Objection!
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor does she have any opportunity to steal the coin.
Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Oh, cry more. Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly! Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over!
Actually, I think you just solved it. Thanks, I think. I think he actually figured it out himself.
You did switch the plates!
Well, after it happened, the, Bangu. When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing.
I mean, he's an expert thief. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done.
Unbelievable!
However, fear not, Prosecutor-san. Prosecutor-san.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform, that is all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant!
Yes!
So if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak, and the steak it was on, back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both.
Ah!
She's panicking! That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. It's the pursuit music! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Shut up!
I'm so pumped now.
What can that possibly tell us now? I mean a cold slab of tough meat. It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady.
I beg your pardon?
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why this steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you. No?
You're the one who decided it was a problem, not me.
The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing.
Thinks he remembers.
I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. No more pursuit music. Oh no, it just got quiet. Yes, sir! And now it's back again! I thought it was done. Let's go! Sorry for keeping you. There's the blood! Here is the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. There it is. Got you, bitch. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look!
Yes!
Yes, indeed! Now this makes everything clear. The blood you see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
Oh! It can't be!
In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right, Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! We got her! Oh, it's really nice to beat her up again.
Outdone? By a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no!
Watch out, wild swan on the loose! Wild swan on the loose! I'm sorry, this breakdown never stops being so good. There it is. What a great Swan Lake interpretation. Bravo, bravo, woo! Oh boy, Lewis is gonna have a great time with that. The chicks! Oh, she gets the black chickie! Oh, chickies! The chickies! Oh, we did it!
Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what exactly happened that day. The truth this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life, using karate. As you surmise, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan.
Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would be all over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table.
That would be me, I suppose.
Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed.
Naruhodo saving the day without even realizing it.
In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Under your skirt?
So I was right. There were two guns.
Yes,
And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. So I just realized, whenever she speaks in English, it's in like this fancy writing. So in the Japanese version, it was just actual English, but it was like really spaced out English, basically. But yeah, you get the idea. Just notice the slight changes to indicate when she spoke English in this, which is nice. Is it cursive? Okay. I wasn't sure. I just call it fancy writing. It looked like cursive, but I wasn't quite, like, super sure about it. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which I presumably placed on the floor. Place where you were sure that I would notice it.
and everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun, as I intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up,
Bangu! And yet they still make us learn cursive in school. Well, maybe not anymore now, but I do remember when I was in elementary, I had to learn how to write cursive. That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point, he was already dead.
naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. Poor Naruhodo just being shoved into things.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around.
Because, of course, you need to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun. What a deceptive bitch, though.
So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor.
Actually, there's still one thing we don't know. Exactly, we haven't figured out the motive for her.
Your Excellency,
Yes?
I wonder, might I speak with you in private later?
I don't like the sound of that. I shall call on you.
Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san.
She actually addressed him as Naruhodo-san, and the last time I did this, I was always wondering if she meant it genuinely Or was she mocking him? It would seem this trial has finally run its course. Finally! This was only the first case! I presume the prosecution is in agreement.
This can't be. Taketsuchi Aochi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student.
You'd better start getting used to tough opposition.
Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Huh? Yes.
This insult to the Aochi family name will never be forgotten.
Oh yeah? You've become conceited with age, Council. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Sexy. A 1,000 millennia may pass, and still, the Aochi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. Wink. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. Thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what will it look like? I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi. Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Observe everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. Ah? I'm uncomfortable again. I understand, Your Excellency. Whew, and we all know, well, except for Suki, but we all know what that mission was. It's not pretty. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes? In you, I sense, how can I put it? Unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. Isn't Asogi's last name, like, supposed to mean, like, his kanji's supposed to mean funeral? Anyway, it's time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty! We do not have confetti, we have cherry blossoms. I don't know who's throwing these cherry blossoms. This court is now adjourned. There is no comic, nothing out there to confirm who's throwing cherry blossoms. Gumshoe's ancestor. 22nd of November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants, Antechamber 5. There's a lot for me to read there. Why? I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on the Yuma University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work certainly has paid off. Who's talking?
Oh my god, I thought it was Mikatoba! The other Mikatoba! I thought it was Yujin! Oh!
Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know.
Susato is the best.
Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much.
Oh no, Naruto's probably like crying!
If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things could have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
Your father?
Oh, yes, of course. Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikatoba, judicial assistant to the defense.
Speaking of Mikatoba. Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Was this a test, Mr. Mikatoba?
Thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend? Oh, yes, you meant that before. You mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yuma University, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Professor Mikatoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson. Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital.
Oh, you worked together.
I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Hisogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world in science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. I don't like the way you say that, sir, but okay. Oh, yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future for Shanghai.
What? Shanghai?
Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that.
What? But why not?
It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. I think this is Hosonaga. Yes.
Inspector Hosonaga.
It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must
But what's all this about consular jurisdiction?
We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan.
What? We can't try her? But then, who Who's gonna bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we signed the friendship treaty. Yes, it's normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our government's making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of competence for her. Competence. I don't believe it. The British Government Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously.
It's just a game!
But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, she does, actually. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But Professor, you're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start by having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink.
Okay, I drink in a second.
I need some booze for some celebratory drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Sir, you might want to check on that cough. Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh, yes. Thank you. So Sujel Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma. Yes, Ryunosuke. I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. Oh, these two are so good. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Oh, come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh, no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again.
But you participate in debate class. You don't participate in debates. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you'd believe in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in, even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, Dude, you are qualified to be an exchange student despite being a student. Or, little real experience. You face seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stop looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it. Through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. Oh, I don't like that look you're making, sir. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is... you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes, that too. These two are so good. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma, Professor Mikotoba, Susato-san, who acted as my assistant, Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. Honestly, there's some obvious changes in the dialogues here and there, but honestly, it feels like I've never really left playing through the localized first case so far. But more importantly, I think it's because they kind of kept everyone's, at least the main characters' names pretty much, and they are using honorifics. So it kind of, I don't feel like I've gotten too far off from anything. Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. Finn! End! And the inspector was there. Hey! There we go! Ooh, ooh. Yes, please. Boom, boom. Can I leave? I don't want to... No, whoops. Well, okay. Well, now... No, I don't want to do episode 2. You can't make me. You cannot make me. I will leave this page. I will leave this page. I'm going to close it. I'm going to close this and open it from here. You can't make me go through case 2. I'm not doing that tonight. I'm just gonna go and check my freaking Accolade.